Welcome back to the Webby O'Neill channel, and it's match preview, Bournemouth versus Manchester United. Plus, we're going to have a chat about all the latest Manchester United news. You get involved, as ever, Reds, in the chat with your own opinions, and we'll try and discuss some of them throughout today's video. Now, a lot's been made over the last few weeks, the turn of the calendar year, about how many shots Manchester United have faced on goal. And I'm going to be honest with you, me and my dad, Toney, have had a little bit of a side bet over the last couple of days on how many shots we'll concede against Bournemouth. Now, are you willing to tell yours on camera?
I'm going 9 shots conceded. That's what we're going to do.
I'm going to go with 14 shots that United will concede against Bournemouth. Let us know what yours are in the comments.
Let's get something straight. What we're missing, how many shots are we going to have?
Oh, you're putting that right on me now, aren't you?
Oh, yes. And yous.
I think United will have 2 shots, 2 on target, 2 goals, and we'll get beat 3-2.
I'm going 13. I'm
actually joking.
No, I'm going 13 anyway.
Yeah, I think, Man United will have more shots than Bournemouth.
Right. So, no.
Yeah, but I'm not going to give you my score prediction until the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But if you want to give yours, get it in the chat now. The reverse fixture at Old Trafford, I think one of the worst results I've seen this season. Yourself and Webby and myself were proper down after that game, like many of yous out there. I think Man United actually had 20-plus shots on goal that day. I think Bournemouth had 4, scored 3, won 3-0. So it needs correcting in this game.
Yeah, it needs correcting. They even had a goal disallowed there for handball. So really, the score could have been higher. I looked at that game, and I did say after the game, results like that could get managers sacked. Obviously, it's not got Erik Ten Hag sacked, but that's how poor I looked at that game, and I think we was very depressed after it. Can't have that again down at Bournemouth, and I don't expect a repeat. I think really the players should be right up for this. They've got to be motivated for it.
Yeah, a big plus, a positive for us is Willy Kambwala. Mentioned him after your match, your match reaction with Webby against Liverpool, and the kid looks mad for it. Loves playing for Manchester United. Wants to be here. Yeah,
got to be in the starting 11. Got to be, and I think he's got to be in the starting 11 for the rest of the season. If you look at the centre half position, they're always injured. They're just either too old, too knackered. They're ready to give up. Varane, he's off. Johnny Evans. Listen, there's too many injuries with them centre-halves. Kambwala played really, really well for his first start at Old Trafford, and I think this kid deserves a run. He looks the type as though he's going to get stuck in. I just want to see it now till the end of the season, and I'd be very, very disappointed if he took him out. There is no need for it. This kid needs a chance, and this is the time to give him the chance.
Yeah, he was actually brought over here by Anthony Martial, wasn't he? I think it was in 2017. A few of the lads from the team Anthony Martial used to play for, he was invited over, he brought them over. And the story goes like, Kambwala actually told his teammates that he'll be back here one day playing for United.
Well, that just shows
Some dream, that.
Well, it's not just a dream. It just shows you the confidence in the lad, in his own abilities and where he wants to go in life. And he got where he wanted. He's at Man United. So really, you cannot see this kid not putting the effort in. He wants to be here. His life dream was to be here. So at the end of the day, get him in and let's see what happens. And I think this kid will turn it round and play absolutely a blinder. Yeah,
I love hearing from him, to be honest. I've seen a few interviews, the one at the start of the year on the MUTV, and he was asked about, when he was over in France, the teams that he used to watch here in the Premier League, and he was like, I don't watch any Premier League teams. It was just Manchester United, Manchester United. That's all he had in his head, day in, day out.
Well, what he's got what we all got when we was kids. This is what we all wanted, what we dreamed of, and he's living the dream. And fair play to the kid. He's worked hard, he's got where he is, and he deserves everything. The dream has come true for the kid.
Marcus Rashford, he limped off against Liverpool. I've not seen him in any training videos or any pictures from yesterday, but it maybe looks a doubt for the Bournemouth game on Saturday.
Yeah, he looks a doubt. Listen, I suspect Anthony will play. And quite rightly, I don't think Rashford should be playing anyway. It's not good enough. He's not put the effort in. So for me, I think he'll go Garnacho, Anthony, and put Hojlund there. But my problem with that 3 is Hojlund. I think Erik Ten Hag must get him working again. Since he's come back from injury, I look at it and I think to myself, he needs to start firing again. So to me, that's my concern with that front line. I don't really want to see Rashford. I think many people out there don't want to see Rashford. The work rate, the running, the effort is just not there from him. And if he has picked up a slight knock, missed training, then at the end of the day, will he be up for it? So at the end of the day, we've seen him before with injuries, out what he does with injuries. So for me, keep him out. If he's fit to travel, yeah, let him
You've
travel.
also got to look at our fixture next weekend as well. A huge game for Manchester United. So would it be a risk putting him in if he's not obviously 100% fit as well?
Well, this is the thing. You've got Wembley, it's a semi-final, possibility of getting to a final. Looks like, on form, we could be playing City in the final if you go by form. But you know what form does? It goes right out the window.
Yeah, not been too great. It's been patchy to say the least, Jekyll and Hyde. So.
No, but the odds are, if you're a gambling man, it'd be Man United, Man City final. But the thing is, it is Wembley, so Ten Hag really should be looking at this. Should I rest players? Should I rest players? And at the end of the day, technically, there is still a chance of getting in the Champions League. I don't believe that. I've not believed that for a long time. So will he rest players? I'm not too sure how he's going to look at this. But if Rashford's got a little niggle, rest him then.
Yeah, I think Hojlund, I'm just trying to think of it in my head. I don't think he scored in the last 3 Premier League games. I think it's 4 if you include the FA Cup game against Liverpool. But again, are we going back to that same discussion of the wingers not putting balls in to feed him any?
Well, I look at Hojlund against Liverpool. His stats were poor, really poor. Who's that down to? Is it down to him? Is it down to the other players? Is it down to the link-up play? We didn't really see that link-up play, and that's what's gone on consistently this year for Hojlund. It's been poor, the link-up play, getting the ball to him from the wingers, getting the ball to him from the likes of Bruno, from other players in midfield. So Hojlund has had a struggle, and to get them goals, and he got on that run, was fantastic because a lot of them goals he created. I mean, to get on that run, he created the goal himself. He wasn't getting the ball. So Erik ten Hag has to deal with this for the rest of the season. Like I say, he's got to get him firing again because we need them goals. We need the points. We need to get up there. We need to show that it's not over. Once they show and that commitment goes down and they show that they're not bothered, then we're going to watch some poor football. So you've got to get Hojlund firing to keep the motivation going. Really, that shouldn't be the motivation. But the way this season's going, someone has to motivate these players. So Hojlund getting firing could motivate them.
Yeah, I'd love to know the stats in terms of crosses delivered into the box from our wide players. But for me, on the eye test, when I've been watching Hojlund, he's coming a lot deeper than he should do in trying to link up the play as well. And, you're not seeing a lot of his work or his best work being done actually in the box.
I think when you look at his play and the reason why, and I'm not saying you're wrong on that, I think why he comes back is because when you see the wingers, they tend to cut in and they want to come and run at the penalty box. So if they get there, then that's nice. But at the end of the day, they're not going past players and they're not crossing. And Hojlund's sort of adjusting himself to coming back. Well, that's really not how it should be. But that's the way Ten Hag seems to set the players up to cut inside. You see the fullbacks doing exactly the same. They cut inside and join up with the midfield. So really, Hojlund has it all to do. And it's not his fault that the stats look poor. And they look poor against Liverpool.
Alejandro Garnacho, though, seems to be doing it on the pitch. For me, him and Kobbie Mainoo are above the rest at the moment in terms of performances on the pitch. There's a lot of hype around him as well. So
yeah, there's a lot of hype around him, and I always sort of look at these young players and Garnacho in the team, out the team, in the team. Now we need him to stay in the team. But the thing is, he is guilty of not releasing that ball and giving it to Hojlund. First time, he seems to want to do that little bit extra. So he needs to sharpen up. He needs to sort of realise it's a team game. That's what it is. It's a team game and not do too much. But he's still young. And at the end of the day, you have to encourage young players to experiment and have a go. So I'm not going to knock him for it. It's just the way it is at the moment. He's come into this team a lot quicker than a lot of people thought, and especially me. And it's all down to injuries.
Yeah, Garnacho, he must have started at least 20 plus games in the last few games we've played, surely. He's been getting took off in the last couple of games as well.
Yeah, but he's a young player. He's
Needs that rest as well because he's put in that work in.
Got to look after him. Yeah. And that's what he must do. He is putting the work rate in. And like I say, he would have been dropped a lot more. He would have been rested and all that. Yeah. But we haven't got the players. You know, Anthony Martial, he's the next striker on board. So Hojlund is struggling. You know, gets his little niggles, goes out, gets in the team, and he's still a young lad. So when you look at that front lineup, when you look at it, Rashford is actually letting him down. He should be inspiring him. He doesn't inspire me, doesn't inspire people out there. So these kids are going at it. So I'm not knocking any of them. I just feel as though they need a rest. You mentioned Manu. I feel as though Manu is being thrust too quickly into the limelight, and he needs to be taken out, brought in, brought out. That's how these young players should be treated, but needs must at the moment.
Yeah, just going to dive into the chat. Amy Acid, cheers for your super chat. He says, do you regret not buying Havertz instead? I don't ever think Man United were looking at signing Havertz.
Havertz?
Yeah, I'll give you on that.
Havertz, I mean, I've never seen Havertz do anything before he come to Arsenal, and he's only in there now because of the players around him playing exceptional. It's nothing to do with Havertz. I would never, ever have considered Havertz, and I was shocked. And I think at the end of the day, he'll be gone next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do, because
I
Arsenal...
don't think he's been too bad recently for Arsenal, but...
Because of other players, it's not him. He's actually not producing it against the good teams. I think Havertz will go, and I'm glad we never got him like many other players.
Oh, yeah, of course. I wouldn't want him here at Manchester United. You know, big fee as well, 65 million.
Well, you know, I won't pay 10 bob for him.
You won't pay 10 bob. Anything else to discuss on the team going into Bournemouth?
I just look at it. The back four has to stay the same with Kambwala, Harry Maguire there. I think Harry Maguire is actually enjoying. He enjoyed the game against Liverpool with him. I thought they both got on really well. I actually seen them both talking together, and you don't actually see many players talking to Harry Maguire over 90 minutes. So I thought the partnership there, they worked well, they got on well. So let's hope it continues. Wan-Bissaka left back again. And I think Dalot right back. That to me is a shoo-in. Casemiro, I think he'll be playing. I don't see any reason why. I think when you look at the injuries and the players on the bench, that then puts a little bit of a doubt. Is Mount going to start? I think Mount deserves a start. I think he's fit. And if he doesn't start, then you've got to sort of question, why isn't he starting?
And for me personally, with Mason Mount, I'd bring him on for the last 20 minutes, like he's been doing, well, even 10 minutes in some of the games recently, and then start him against Coventry at Wembley next weekend. That's what I'd do personally. Well,
the thing is, it's how Erik ten Hag judges this game. He might make wholesale changes and bring people like Mount in and look at the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley the following week in a different light. So it's a matter of wait and see on the day. And I think we will get shocked by some of the picks, but it is difficult. Does he look at Wembley, or does he just concentrate on trying to get the 3 points with a fit full side?
Yeah, a player we didn't discuss, actually, to be fair, when we was discussing Rashford Anthony, is Ahmad. I think he deserves a start. You know, got that goal against Liverpool as well. Surely he's on a high. Obviously was suspended after it, but...
Yeah, well, does he deserve a start? Yeah. Look, we know the goal he scored. It was fantastic. We love him to death for it. But the thing is, he's not been playing in the first team. So you can't expect him to start, in my opinion. I don't think you can expect him to start unless there's serious injuries there. I think what you'll do, he'll go on the bench. He should be on the bench, and he should be given the opportunity as and when it arises. But with Erik ten Hag, as and when it arises, is not what you and I would say, there's the time to put somebody on. He seems to have his own method of bringing players on at different times.
Yeah, Akash Paul says, no idea which United will turn up.
No.
A draw for me. Cheers for your super chat, mate.
No, you're right. No, nobody knows what United. We could concede 25 shots. We could have 25 shots. You just don't know what United. And at this time of the year, it's difficult to predict. The enthusiasm. Are they looking forward to it, the players? Are they looking forward to the semi-final? Are they going to try and shirk it? Are they not going to be fully committed? You know, you just don't know. And when you look at United, I think You just don't know what you're going to get. I tell you what you are going to get. You're going to get zonal marking. And I'm sick to death of zonal marking. Anyone who watches United, when we get corners and that, you just look at them standing around. And I don't think it's the right approach for United. I think United should be going out there, man marking and attacking them instead of just waiting for the players to run in the area. I think it's one of the failures a lot of people haven't really discussed yet. And I watched them there and I think to myself, corners, you're just standing around waiting for something to happen. It shouldn't be that way. You should be proactive, blocking players out, chasing them wherever they go, but it doesn't seem that way. And unfortunately, when I mentioned Harry Maguire there, I looked at Harry Maguire with the zonal marking. It doesn't suit Harry Maguire. He's standing there with a man and then a man runs off. Many times do I see it. But he's not the only one. It's a poor thing for United, zonal marking. They should be proactive. So I think whether he changes it against Bournemouth or it gets changed in a later date, it has to change. Zonal marking for me does not work.
Yeah, I don't think we've got the players as well who've got the appetite to go and attack the area as well for the zonal marking. But let us know what you think about zonal marking compared to man marking. Me, I'm all for the man marking. Take responsibility. But Zayn Yassi in the chat, cheers for your super chat, mate. He says, thanks, Toney, for the Liverpool result. Arsenal fan.
Yeah, and that's great. Listen, we did a great result against Liverpool, but let me tell you, as an Arsenal fan, you're coming to Old Trafford soon, okay? And we'll stick it up you as well, because that's what we're going to do. And quite rightly so. It doesn't matter at this moment who's going to win the league or who's the preferences and that, but you come to Old Trafford, the same will happen. Liverpool were worried coming to Old Trafford, and the closer it gets, the more worried you'll get. That's a fact.
Yeah, article from yesterday. I've seen it reappear again today on Erik ten Hag's future. That Manchester United players believe Erik ten Hag is resigned to the sack at the end of the season and have noticed a change in his demeanour.
Might have a tummy upset.
Yeah.
You just don't know how these stories get the light of day.
I know one thing, my demeanour would definitely change having to see that week in, week out, seeing players not performing to the standards you actually expect for the football club.
Look, his demeanour might be because of the weather. All our demeanours changed because of the weather. Yeah. I think this is absolutely an embarrassing story to be reported by a newspaper or whether it's a radio or TV. This is just a joke, but it's nothing I'm not expecting, and I'm sure there's going to be many more stories. His demeanour, how low of a standard do you get of reporting stories about Man United? And this has got to be one of the lowest. Players are worried about his demeanour. My God, they should be worried about themselves.
Yeah, coach at Manchester United as well, Benni McCarthy, it says in the ESPN he's facing an uncertain future as part of Manchester United's coaching staff, with the former South Africa striker's contract set to expire in the summer.
Yeah, he should be worried. Like we've been saying for a while now, all staff members should be worried. Contracts not renewed, the people in place to discuss it aren't in place. Your Ashworth and other Wilcox and other people, they're not in place. And at the end of the day, everyone should be worried. Benni McCarthy, quite rightly, should be worried. The players aren't connecting as we expect them to connect up front. The midfield's not doing it for the forwards. The forwards aren't doing it for themselves. So Benni McCarthy, what's he come in? He's come in and overseen something. Now, is it his fault? I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of what goes on, right? But at the end of the day, his contract runs out, and quite rightly, he should be worried, like everybody else should be worried.
Yeah, I've seen some reports as well on Ivan Toney. But I think the actual source of the report is coming from Sky Germany reporter Florian Plattenberg, and he claims that a deal could be done for around 40 million, which would be a stunning fee, which he puts in his words, given the player's recent England performances. But I just don't see Ivan Toney at Manchester United at all, from what I've heard actually from the player himself on podcasts.
Well, I look back about 6 months ago, he wants Arsenal. That's what he's out there touting it. For me, I can't see United going for him. 40 million, if it's 40 million, it's 40 million. But United going for him, listen, these stories are going to come out. We've heard it before. But at the end of the day, we've heard people turn around and go, he's going to Arsenal. They're adamant he's going to Arsenal. So why is this story? Maybe it's a slow news day for him. Do you know what I mean? But this is absolutely not in United's. I don't see how anyone any player can be linked with a fee to Manchester United at the moment when a player goes to a football club because he wants to play for the manager. And everyone else is turning around and saying, Erik ten Hag won't be here. Or we don't know who the new manager is. It could be Southgate. It could be
Potter.
Could be Potter. Okay.
Hopefully it's Harry Potter, not Graham Potter.
Yeah, well, we hope so. But the thing is, when you get players linked to United, how can they be linked to United? Because who's the manager? Who's the coaching staff looking at him? Who wants him? Who wants him in a system? And at the end of the day, if they are looking at any players and wanting to bring them in, then that tells you Erik ten Hag must be staying, because that player must know who the manager's going to be. Yeah. If his managerial role at United is in doubt, a player who wants to come to Manchester United would wait and see what was going on, or even to be linked. But that's my opinion. That is my opinion.
But you've also got to look on the other side of the fence. How many players go to actually play for the football club? You know, when players go and sign for Real Madrid, did they play for the current manager there, or are they signing for that badge and what Real Madrid is for?
I agree. That's the other side of the coin. But you'd also got to look at, well, hang on a minute, Erik ten Hag's going. Do I really want to go to United under Gareth Southgate? Now, that's another argument, right? Yeah. But it's a big argument. So this is the interesting conundrum, what we've all got to face. When you see reports about players being linked to United, right? Okay, they want to come and play for Manchester United. But would they want to come and play under Gareth Southgate? You know what I mean? So there's a big debate, big argument out there, and a big unknown. Big, big unknown.
I think Rashford and Harry Maguire want Gareth Southgate to come in and play under him, because Maguire would be guaranteed 38 Premier League starts next season, guaranteed.
Yeah, well,
he won't be going anywhere.
That would just sum up everybody's mood at the moment and just raise it right up there, right? And then we'd have just a massive queue going in that canal.
Yeah, O'Neill blows up. Zamias is back.
Yes.
Arsenal fan, he says, we contain City. Old Trafford won't be a problem. Cheers for your super chat, mate.
Yeah, you contained City without an attack. You did really well. You defended well. That's what you have to do against Manchester City. United tried to do that against Manchester City, and they just couldn't hold out. You did well, and fair play to you. But at the end of the day, you've got to win games and you've got to score goals. And coming to Old Trafford, I go back to what you said before, you're going to struggle, because United will have it go toe-to-toe with you, because they're not having you dancing about on this pitch, right, winning the league.
Yeah, Nemanja Vidic, I'm sure a lot of you, or a few of you out there, might have seen his recent podcast, and he was talking about the state of Manchester United over the last few years, and he said, it seems like certain players didn't stand up and perform, especially the experienced players. It's not just about the coach, I think it's about the players, the mentality, and that's what the issue is at the football club, not just this year, but the last few years. Now, Sir Jim Ratcliffe and his team, they have one hell of a job to do. If you look at the United... Well, if you look at the way United played this season, I don't think they are in a situation because they don't have the quality of players. I think it's because they don't have the mentality. I think I got there in the end. Hopefully you understood that. Yeah,
I think when you go back and you look at Ole and you look at Mourinho, you look at Van Gaal, the mentality, and that's what it is. It's the mentality. And really, the mentality is set by the people in the background, and the people have been weak in the background. Coaches have been weak, management have been weak, the suits have been weak, and the mentality, and it's all about the players. Time and time again, out there, you come across to us, I've said it to you, players, they just don't care. They let managers down, they threw them under the bus, as they say, and that has continually been going on for nearly 10 years, well, over 10 years now. So what he's saying there, I think, everyone would say the same. Every ex-player would say the same. Any professional looking from the outside in will be able to look at United over a 10-year period and just say that the mentality of these players, because they've been some good players, but they haven't performed. When players have come in, you look at Sanchez when he come in, he got here the first day and he went, oh, I'm having none of this.
Yeah, in the training session, didn't he? Yeah.
Sanchez come. Right, and I liked Sanchez when he was at Arsenal, and he came to United, and I thought he's going to be a tricky player on and inside the box. But he come, and his attitude was all wrong. He just sort of didn't down tools, but didn't put that effort in. And it was a mentality thing. He didn't get over coming to United. And lots of players, you look at Pogba, there's loads of them. And the mentality has been poor because the management and the structure all around has been so poor. But that has to change.
Yeah, I don't think Sanchez was happy playing the piano instead of the guitar, but, you know, it's one of them. I totally agree with that. Akash Paul in the super chat. Cheers, mate. He says, cultural issues take time to solve. 2 seasons. Erik ten Hag has said, though, ever since he's come in, about changing the mentality and the culture inside the club. How many times have we heard him say, good is not good enough?
Yeah, when he's saying that, he's determined to stay here for a while to do it. And he knows that the culture has to change. We all know it, but people still shout and scream to get him out. You know, when you get another manager and he's faced with the same problem, you might as well accept Erik ten Hag staying here to deal with what the problem is. You know, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Brailsford, they all know what the problem is inside Man United. It's a cultural thing. So it does take time. So you keep Erik ten Hag there. There's no point. Can you imagine bringing Southgate in or Potter to deal with the issues what are still inside that club? It'd just be a total mess. And then repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Don't need it. We might have to go through a little bit of a bad time. Do you know what I mean? But I've got to stay positive. I want you to stay positive. And you've just got to hope that we can build on something going forward with what Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bringing in. He's trying to bring people in to build on something, change a culture, and that's what Erik ten Hag wants to do. So you've just got to hope. I just don't see the logic, of changing something, when he's halfway through changing the attitude, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe's coming and he's halfway through of changing some of these suits.
Do you know what? Yeah, I totally agree with that, to be fair. You just hope as well, we're at the bottom of the barrel, so to speak, and there's only one way, and that's up, and there's no more chaos to come next season or even the season after.
Well, it's like that. You say, we hope we're at the bottom of the barrel. Well, if we're in that European Conference League, we're at the bottom of the barrel, okay? Right? Okay? And a lot of people have gone, oh, the arrogance of Manchester United fans and all that. You know, they don't want to be in the Conference League. But that is the reality of where we could be. Now, to me, that's the bottom of the barrel. So going in that Conference League, no way do I want to be in that. Right? It's embarrassing. But the thing is, we've got to suck it up, and we've just got to hope going forward, right? There's positives. It could be the bottom of the barrel, but what a kick in the privates for that. What a proper kick that is. Not just
a nonsense competition.
Not just for us fans and all that, for the club worldwide, the prestige, everything. So we're not at the bottom of the barrel yet, right? Things could get more embarrassing. And like I say, there's 7 games left. And getting these points, right, could keep us out of that Conference League. Because I'll tell you
what, if we go in that Conference League,
we're slaughtered.
We'll get absolutely slaughtered next season. Pelters.
Off everyone.
Yeah, and
off everyone. I'll get pelters off the woman in the chippy, the news agents and all that. Everyone will just come hunting me.
Yeah.
Whereas at the moment, they just keep away from me. They just look at me and that's it. But I'll tell you what, if we get in that Conference League, people will just come flying out on them streets and going, oh, there you go. And I will not be happy. And this club should not be happy. That's why the 3 points against Bournemouth and going on till the end of the season are most important. We have to avoid that because that is the biggest embarrassment. And round the world, that will just tell you how far we've gone down.
You've got to look at it as well. Let's hope we do go in that trajectory up next season. But, at the minute, you don't look at Manchester United and think they can win any European competition, including that Conference League as well. So it might be better that we don't go in any European competition for next season and sort of regroup and build forward under Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos and a new structure behind the scenes.
Listen, I go back to what Webby always says, couldn't even win a European game in Tiddlywinks, you know what I mean?
We don't win a bowl of soup, Webby says.
Yeah, well, we listen, we don't look like winning anything because we're not a team, and we have to get that back in the summer. Yeah. But there's a lot of ifs and buts. If this happens, but what happens if this happens? We just got to wait and see. All we can do is hope, right, and that we can rebuild, and we've got to avoid that European Conference League.
Yeah, definitely. Like a couple of people are saying, you might as well play the kids in it. If we do qualify for that next season, it's not a bad shout, to be fair.
Might as well play us.
Yeah, centre backs. I think we might be needed if the injuries carry on next season to the defenders like they have this season.
Yeah, but you'll
Webby
get
left back.
Listen,
new centre half.
You'll get
Dello right back.
Not bad. You'll get those people that are going, we're in it, so we've got to win it. Not for me.
Yeah, it's putting a bit of a downer on this live stream now, actually thinking about it. But give me your
score prediction.
Yeah, your score prediction. Yeah, I can't even catch my words now, thinking about maybe playing Conference League next season.
Well, I look at it as a positive, and I just think to myself, go to Bournemouth. Sometimes it can be a tight game, but I'm going for a 3-1. I'm going for 3-1, me. I'm positive about this. I think some players might look at it, play well, and I'll be in that side at Wembley. And that's what they look. So there is an incentive. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a 3-1, me.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-2 Manchester United. Ooh. Yeah, let us know what your score predictions are out there as well. But anything to add, though, before we go?
No. Yeah. Listen, the positives will come more in the summer. Yeah. And we've just got to build on it. Injuries galore, we know that. Let's just get through to the end of the season without any further embarrassment. And let's get some pride back in the team. Pride back in the fans. That's what we need.
Yeah. Just like to thank everyone for joining us as usual. Chat's been popping off as well. Some great comments in there. If you want to help support us or you've enjoyed the video, leave a like on it and we'll see you again tomorrow. You enjoy the rest of your day and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.